Gee, I was afraid we weren't going to start there. I always hate when Prism doesn't update. Took an awful long time to start. And I'm going to change the intro music. I'm going to go to the other intro music. I kind of like it a little better. And it's time for the intro music. And from the WDWL TV Multiplex, live from Red Studio number 1, with great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, and the double disco light vulture. Would you like to take your bow? Okay, take your bow. Get the banner up. Come on, do it right. Do it right. Okay, long as you return with the banner up. Now back to your double disco lights. You idiot. There. Let me move this out of the way. Hey, Kathy. How are ya? I kind of like that intro a little better. I think I'm going to use that one. Because when you come right down to it, I am entertainment. Not Oscar winning, but I do get entertaining at times. So how's the daughter doing? I was thinking about her this morning. I hate when people are sick. And then my friend from the hospital, oh my God, I couldn't believe the shit that she's gone through. God damn. A brain tumor and now skin cancer. Holy shit. She worked, I believe, in housekeeping, if I remember right. I was like I said, the cashier in the cafeteria, so there weren't too many employees I didn't get to know over the time there, but we were all crazy. Oh my God. We had so much fun at that place because the job that I had, I was able to get all my tasks out of the way. Well, that's good. Mom has to be a mom, you know. Yeah, Sherry. Oh, she was a sweetheart. She really was. I mean, is. I haven't seen her in, Jesus Christ, 20 years? Yeah, because she said she's turning 54. Yeah, it's been about 20 years. But I put it this way. I had a very young female supervisor. And I says to her, I says, hey, instead of you giving me a bunch of bullshit, just give me certain jobs. I'll get them done and let me have my downtime. If you need anything else done, I'll handle it. But don't just give me a bunch of shit to keep me busy. You know I'm here to work. So, I would get certain items I needed to get set up before the cafeteria opened. Well, the cafeteria basically, well, let's see. I can't remember what time it opened. 11? I think it opened at 11. Or 11:30. 11:30, because I got there at 10. I would get everything set up, plus I would help the girls if they needed help. Then, when the rush started, which went from 11:30 to 1:30, then after 1:30, hey, Peace, how you doing there? Welcome. After the rush, I would help the girls clean up, and then we had downtime until the evening rush because the cafeteria didn't close until 8 o'clock. So once I got done, I literally roamed the floors of the hospital, bullshitting with the nurses, bullshitting with housekeeping, downstairs in CSR, which was the instrument sterilization area. I go over to the laundry, back in maintenance, and laundry. They had a bin of basically sheets that could no longer be used. Well, they were all cleaned, pressed, sterilized. So, having a twin bed, I helped myself to a shitload of Lakewood Hospital sheets because they were only going to get sent back and made into rags or sent to a third world country. Well, the wages I was earning, I was a third world country, so. And then the girls down in instrument sterilization, anytime they'd have bad instruments, which were also supposed to be sent to a third world country, they would give them to me because the paperwork to ship them was unbelievable. So they give them to me. I go through what I wanted, say, okay, here, you can ship this shit, And then there was a rule. Any battery-operated item, like a pulsometer or anything that had a battery, if it was, say they needed a pulsometer up in ER, they'd send it up, ER would be done with it, and they'd send it down. Immediately, those batteries had to be thrown away because every item had to have fresh batteries. I had boxes of batteries, D, C, AA, AAA, and the guys over in maintenance, anything that caught my eye, I'd tell them, don't throw that away. And they'd say, all right, after work, be up at the loading dock with your truck. So, Grumpy had to, as a matter of fact, my bed, get this now, is it's a lazy boy sleep sofa. And when they changed all the furniture in maternity. They got rid of them. They had like 7 of them. Well, I asked if I could have one. They said, yeah. So I've been using it ever since. I bought that 10-inch goofy mattress. I put it on top of the sleep sofa. Whoa! Works wonders. I didn't have to buy a framework. Nothing. So, believe me. Matter of fact, I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 lamps, 2 desk lamps, and 1 floor lamp. I basically furnished my apartment with shit from Lakewood Hospital, and everything has labels: property of Lakewood Hospital, property of Lakewood Hospital. And the interesting thing is, every item for a hospital has to be grounded. It has to have a three-prong plug. The price between a regular desk lamp and a grounded desk lamp was like twice. So if a regular desk lamp was $50, these are $100. So I've got a floor lamp. I have 2 desk lamps. I have my sleep sofa, a shitload of sheets. I even have some hospital gowns. I use them when I used to cut my own hair. Same as almost like what a barber has. Oh, I miss that place. For 2 reasons. The people that I had fun with, and all the shit that I got. Pardon me, I got a vulture in my throat. You worked in the hospital laundry? Oh, in a nursing home? Really? Well, you know what I'm talking about. After a while, they have to get rid of sheets because maybe they got a little extra wear in a corner or something. But up until I bought this new mattress, although I still use them, all the sheets on my bed said Lakewood Hospital. And the blankets. Oh my God, I love them blankets. I got the blankets that they used to put in the warmer. You come out of surgery and they give you a warm blanket out of the oven. Everything says property of Lakewood Hospital. As a matter of fact, the guys down in maintenance, I don't know the reason what was wrong, because there was nothing basically wrong with them. I've got a bunch of those red outlets and the red face plates. Those are the ones that basically, if power goes down, those are the ones that are powered by the hospital generator. I got a bunch of them. Every house I'm at, I put them in, the wall switches, the wall plugs, and then when I leave, I take them out. I take them with me. Every goddamn house that I'm at, the wall plugs are all red. Oh yeah, Kent, those blankets. Oh, I love them. I don't know what material they're made out of. I know cotton, but they are warm. I love them. Like, in another couple of weeks, I'll take the electric blanket off my bed because it's a little too heavy. I'll put one or two of them blankets on, and they keep me warm. Yeah. My linen closet. Stack of sheets that said Lake Property of Lakewood Hospital, and a stack of blankets that said Property of Lakewood Hospital. The only thing I never got was pillowcases. I don't know why. But like with my new mattress, it's a twin XL. So it's wider and it's longer and it's deeper. What I do is I take the sheets and I put them over the top of my bedspread because my fat ass cat likes to sleep on my bed. And like this time of year, he's starting to shed like a mountain goat. But it was, oh my God, I almost fell over when I saw Sherry pop in last night. Brought back a lot of memories. Oh God, did we have fun in that place. I just really sad to hear the shit that she's gone through. Kind of, it kind of makes me feel I didn't go through anything versus what. Can you imagine them drilling a fucking hole in your head? And then she no sooner gets over that, and then she gets goddamn skin cancer. It's like, Jesus. Talk about a double whammy. But she's hanging in there. Yeah, we had some interesting people that worked at the hospital. Very interesting. The one thing, I never dated anybody from the hospital because I learned years ago you don't date people you work with. Because if the relationship ever goes sour, it makes for a very uncomfortable working situation. Now, when I worked for the county, right out of high school, I was working in the title bureau. There were a group of us that every Friday night would go out for drinks. We'd go down to the bar in the flats, and it was always the same three guys, same three girls. Everybody accused me, oh, you're dating her. No. Can't people just go for a drink just because we go every Friday? Just because we all sit at the same table at lunch and eat together? That means we're dating? But you got accused of that. Oh, you're dating Linda. No, I am not dating Linda. And that was back in the 70s. Now, today, yeah, I could see people going, oh, you guys are dating. The old women, right away. Oh, we saw you going down to the flats together. Yeah, and? Did you see us going home together? No. Did you see my car in her driveway? No. Did you see my car parked on her street? No. So don't accuse me of dating her. We're friends. Can't you be friends? The old women that worked there, males and females couldn't be friends. They had to be dating. So I learned. Believe me, there were a lot of cutie nurses I would have liked to, but because I'll tell you what, if something went haywire on the main floor of the hospital, within 30 seconds, the fourth floor knew about it. That's how fast word traveled through that place. So you learn right away, don't. But it was a fun place to work. It really was. And my supervisor was so easygoing. Matter of fact, I got to go out and visit her this summer. Her daughter is going to be driving. God, that's scary. I can remember, and I'm going to tell her when I see her because I haven't seen her in frickin' 14 years. When you were 7 days old, I stood right here in the kitchen here and I held you. Yeah, it's hard to believe. She's going to be... God damn, what the... What the hell's with my voice tonight? Jesus. Where was I? Oh, talking about the hospital. Yeah, Sherry couldn't believe it. The parking garage was across the street, directly across the street. And they finally had gotten permission to build a walkway between the parking garage and the hospital. Well, I happened to be on the street that day when they laid the first I-beams for the walkway. And then I saw a story on the news that said they were tearing the walkway down, and I was there for the removal of the beams for the walkway, which was sad. It was sad seeing a wrecking ball demolish that hospital. Oh, Jesus. And then to find out it's still an empty hole in the ground. Yeah, they demolished it real fast because they were going to build a youth center, a rec center. That was probably 15 years now. Easy. Maybe 10. I'll have to look and see when they tore the place down. Good old Cleveland Clinic. And then I got myself in trouble today. Oh, Jesus. I had mentioned I had gotten a gift of a drone. My buddy bought it, he never flew it. So his wife gave it to me. So I've been waiting for decent weather to go fly my drone. So I go out front, I'm sitting on the porch. I put the drone about 10 feet away from me. And I hit takeoff, and it came up, and it leveled off about 5-6 feet off the ground. And it's just doing one of these. Holding hover. Oh, God. So I give it a little blip. I give it a little blip again. Okay. So I decide I'm going to fly it around the yard. So I was going to go left. I hit the button. Nothing happened. I moved the button a little more. It didn't go left. I moved the button all the way. It took off. It went 3 houses down the street. And before I could yell to my neighbor, look out, it beamed him off the top of the head. He was like, what the fuck hit me? My drone crashed in his front yard. He looked down, he goes, where the hell did that come from? I'm not, me. He's like, Jesus Christ, don't you know how to fly that thing? No. I said, this was the Virgin flight, and it didn't go well. So I'm looking at it. I said, well, at least it didn't break any of the propellers. He said, oh, beat me in the head with it. You're worried about fucking propellers. I said, well, I didn't aim for your head. It took off that way. Man, it went like a rocket sideways. I was getting ready to yell, Doc! Too late. Right off the side of his head. I brought it home. I gently put it back in the carry case. I said, well, that's enough drone flying for today. It's holy shit. Those controls are sensitive. I guess what I'm going to have to do is go into a big open lot somewhere. Maybe down in the valley. I'll go down in Met Park. And that way I'll have a lot of space to fly it until I learn how to handle that goddamn thing. It was too bad I didn't have the camera on. It would have been neat seeing that thing make that sudden left, go 3 yards over and come off of his head. That would have been a priceless video. On second thought, if I injured him, his attorney would be asking for it. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was just getting around, ready to yell, look out! I didn't even get look. I thought, oh shit. I don't know what, I think I'm losing my voice. Ah, damn. That's all I need. If I lose my voice, I'll have to learn American Sign Language. I don't know why the hell all of a sudden it's acting up. Probably the goofy ass weather. It was almost 80 today. Pardon me. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I looked at the temperature. I was like, 78? It can't be. I've got one of those. As a matter of fact, it's from 1950. One of them dual thermometers where you have one side is the interior temperature, and then it has the wire that goes through the window, and it's got a little bulb on it, and you mount the bulb outside, and it registers the outdoor temperature. I can't believe it's actually dead on. All these years, of course, nobody's tampered with it. And I love it because I can look and see what the temperature is outside. But when I saw 78 today, I thought, well, maybe the sun is beating on it. So I walked outside. I was like, oh, it is 78. I'm going to play with my drone. And then I almost killed my neighbor. So the drone, the evidence is put away. I wish I had turned the camera on. I had an SD card in it. I don't know why I didn't turn the camera on. I guess I was so excited I was actually flying it. Yeah, it's neat. It's got a camera. And you can aim the camera. It's neat. There's a control on the box. The control box, there's a button. You can aim the camera. And it's got an SD card. You can record your flight. That would have been an interesting flight. Here goes the drone, up 6 foot, sideways, and then off my neighbor's head. Matter of fact, I was all pissed off because I took the SD card out and I plugged it in, and up on the screen comes video. I clicked on video and it says, no files recorded. What? Can't be. And then it dawned on me. I forgot to turn the camera on. Damn it. I guess once I learn how to fly this thing, I'm going to buy a better one. Because this is what they call a learner's drone. For kids, 12 and up. So once I learn how to fly it, I'm going to get me a better one. But it was cool. I brought it up, I hit takeoff, and it sat there and hovered. And it would have been cool because the camera was facing me. And I forgot to look, because on the screen, when you're recording, it's in red. And it's got a countdown timer. And I never bothered to look. But it was hovering about 6 foot away from me. Right about that level. Just going up and down. Until I decided to fly it. Hover works great. Fly, not so good. Yeah, I was bumping the control to the left, and it wasn't doing nothing. I bumped it a little farther, and it didn't do nothing. And I bumped it all the way, and I was like, uh-oh, duck. Another toy that I really, really need, a drone. I probably should check. Maybe the airport has drone restrictions because we're in the landing pattern here. They go over the house constantly. the one that really makes me nervous is when that FedEx super carrier goes over the house, because it don't look like it's moving. That big monster looks like it's going about 2 miles an hour. Now I know it's going faster than that, but that big super freighter every morning, I have yet to see the UPS plane. I don't know which way it comes into the airport, but the FedEx super freighter comes over the house every day. But it is scary seeing that plane. You'd think it's going to fall out of the sky any minute. Yeah, you can tell. Basically, how few flights come into Hopkins every day. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, you would look and there would be planes for as far as the eye could see, one after another, coming into land. Now, maybe 3, 4, 5. Of course, at that time, that was before Continental and American merged, because we were the hub for Continental here. And we were busy. That's all you would see. Continental. Although the strange plane to see is that Spirit. It looks like a giant banana. Who decided to paint that big plane banana yellow? Yeah, we got Spirit. We got American. Southwest. And Frontier. Those are the neat ones, because on the tail, one plane will have a moose. Because Frontier bought out Alaska Airlines, I think Frontier bought Alaska. But you'll see a moose on one tail. One plane has a guy with a big giant beard. I'm trying to think what other frickin' animals are on the snow bunny. Whatever animals are up in Alaska, they're on the tail of the Alaska / Frontier airline planes. Remember when it was plane after plane after plane after plane? It was amazing, the air traffic that we used to have here. And now, nothing. Yeah, Curious George. They look like big giant flying bananas. Whoever decided to paint a fucking jet banana yellow, I'll never forget the first time I saw one of them go over the house. I was like, what the hell is that? I had to get my binoculars out to see Spirit. I mean, Southwest is crazy enough with what the hell have they got? Blue, brown, red, blue, brown, and yellow. Yeah. Blue, yeah, they're blue, brown, and red. I think. At one time, you were allowed to park in the airport in a free lot and go up on the observation deck and watch the planes come and go. And then 9/11 killed that. You're not even allowed to park around the airport anymore. Because they tore down the Brown Derby that was across the street from the airport. I think they finally tore the parking lot up to keep people from parking there. But people used to park in that Brown Derby lot and stand there with binoculars and because that's a big thing for seniors, plane watching. And they have clubs. And they keep a log of every plane that comes in. And they know whether it's a 737 or a 747 or a 767 or if it's an Airbus 320 or an Airbus 380. And they all compare notes. I don't know where they park around here, around Hopkins. But I know there's clubs everywhere. I would tend to think that'd be boring as shit after a while. But nope. And they're serious about it. Oh, here comes, United 737. Some of them even know the flight number. Well, that's flight 326 out of Orlando. Yeah. And they all have the radios so they can monitor the tower and monitor the communications. I ran into a guy years ago, maybe about 5 years ago. I never did find out where they sit. But he was telling me they all get there like 6 in the morning and a guy will bring a Coleman stove and make coffee. Then they all start taking notes, watching the planes come and go. Yeah, I can remember back when, I was in high school. They used to call it going out to the airport, parking and watching the submarines come in. We were submarine watching. Nobody was watching planes. All you saw was fogged up windows on all the cars. That was the days when you could park around the airport. And then good old 9/11 ruined it. Because I know the airport police, they patrol on a regular basis around the airport. So I don't know where these clubs park anymore. I think maybe out at the IX Center. I don't know. Because the end of the runway is right behind the IX Center. Now, I don't know if they can park there or not. But yeah, I couldn't believe there's actually clubs that watch the planes come and go and keep logbooks. Keeps the seniors occupied. I mean, I got some ham radios that I can listen to the airport if I want. I have to get a list of all the frequencies one of these days. Yeah, I got a couple of neat ham radios, even though I'm not a ham. I was going to study to take the test. Too fucking hard for me. Too old for that. I got all these ham radios and no license. And God forbid you transmit on one of them without a license. Holy shit. But I can tune in to the airport. I can tune into Oberlin because Oberlin is one of the traffic control centers. I can get the frequencies for takeoff, landing. I don't know why I stopped listening. I was listening almost every day. I think I got bored. I used to have police scanners. Now they got those ultra high frequencies and scramblers, and you can download an app. The major problem is you can't, none of the apps are broken down by district because each district has its own dispatch. The way these apps are, I had one, I tried it for a while, it drove me crazy. You would hear the dispatcher call like car 104. And then the next transmission would be car like 507 from the 5th district answering a call. I don't know how people know what's going on. Like the TV stations. Although I'm sure they have multiple police radios in their newsroom. They can listen to each district so they know what's going on. I used to have the frequency for the Fox chopper and for Channel 5's chopper, and then they changed the damn frequencies. Because when the news choppers would be up, I used to listen to them. They just ruin it for people. That used to be oh man, I had goddamn scanners up the ass. I had one for each district. I had the fire department. I used to listen to the suburbs around me. Then they changed the frequencies. They put scramblers on the radio so you can't listen. It used to be a load of fun. I loved it. I tune all my scanners on at night. sit and listen. Maybe if something was close, I'd go check it out. Not no more. Yeah, Radio Shack made a ton of money off of me buying goddamn scanners. I had one for each district. And then a separate one for the fire department. And then a separate one for, let's see, who was together? Rocky River was on the same frequency, Westlake, Fairview. Those three were all on the same frequency. And you could tell the difference by the car numbers. Like Fairview would be 33, so it would be like 3301, 3310, and then Westlake would be like 6701. So if you knew which city had what car numbers, you could follow it. Plus the addresses. And then it all got ruined. Shit, I got a stack of scanners out in the living room. They're worthless. The only thing I can listen to is the goddamn railroad. And shit, there's only about 1/3 the trains running today that used to run back in the 60s and 70s. That was another thing. Rail traffic. God damn. We had rail traffic going through this city like crazy. And same thing. CBs. Used to listen to goddamn CB. I had every kind of radio imaginable here. I had a bank of police scanners for Cleveland, and then I had the scanners for the fire department and the suburbs, and my base CB radio. Matter of fact, there's probably 8 or 10 CBs in the closet over here. I've got some antiques too. Oh. Problem is, ain't worth nothing. Really? They'd have a certain area where the train would stop to get their mail? Man, that's cool. You're really in the sticks. When the Pony Express bringing Grandma's mail. I never knew that. God, that's interesting. So you would drive to a certain place and wait for the train to stop and you'd get your mail, huh? How cool. Well, that was when, back in the days they had mail cars. You would see a mail car on a train, and they would sort fucking mail while the train is going. People didn't know. They also had mail buses. They'd have something like a big Greyhound bus. I remember seeing it. Had U.S. mail on the side. Big ass bus. And you look in the window and you see the guy sitting there. They'd be sorting mail in the pigeonholes. Yeah, back in the day. I didn't know they had well, I knew they had a mail cart on the train. I didn't know it would stop in certain areas to give you your mail. How cool is that? Now, I know up in Alaska, they 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 have trains that stop at certain locations because that's how people get not only get their mail but they get their supplies. For those idiots that are living off grid, I don't know how they can do that. Live off the grid like that. Have to hunt for your food. You have no electricity. You have no running water. You have to cut down trees in order to heat your house and cook. It's holy shit. Yeah, goddamn train stop. Grandma'd be like, "Here comes the mail. I see the headlight coming. Here's your mail. Thank you." And then motor down 5 miles. Give her neighbor, "Here's your mail." How neat. "Hey, look who's here." "Oh, you don't have to apologize. We're just happy to see you." We were talking about Kathy's grandmother having a train stop in front of her house to give her her mail up in the mountains, out in the sticks. That had to be neat, though. Have the train stop. "Here's your mail. Thank you." Yeah, I know they do that in Alaska. I saw a documentary about these idiots that live off the grid. They build a fucking log cabin. And then they have families. And God forbid Dad doesn't shoot a moose or a caribou. Yeah, like the old Wild West. Live in Alaska off the grid. Shoot a moose so that you can eat for 4 or 5 months. Shoot a caribou, maybe now and then a bear. Live in a log cabin with no electricity, no running. Well, some are able to have a well. They showed this one pioneer. It looked like a post hammer, whatever the hell they call that. And it drove pipe down into the ground. And when they would finally hit water, then they would screw up a well pump on it and then build a sink around it. "You want water? Here you go." instead of going down to the local stream and getting a couple of buckets of water. Although they say that you can literally drink out of most of the rivers in Alaska because it's basically melted snow water. And these idiots, they live around these rivers that are fed by snow melt. Show them walking down the river with a cup. Oh, that water's cold. Showed this one couple boiling buckets of water so that they could take a shower. Oh, I know that. I know that real well, Kathy. That was one of the things me and the shrink talked about. I go through that shit. I was on Xanax for a while, and it worked. And then they took it off. They said, oh, you can't have that kind of medication with what you're taking. And then they gave me some, I can't remember the name of it. Whoa. Talk about goddamn goofy dreams. Holy shit. I felt like I was in a horror movie. I told the doctor, I said, I ain't taking this shit no more. So then he told me, he said, well, if you don't want to take any prescribed medication for anxiety, take St. John's wort. I was ordering it for the longest time. Kind of worked. And kind of didn't. Yeah, if she isn't taking a prescribed medication, the doctor said the best thing over the counter is St. John's wort. I can't remember the milligrams I was taking. It kind of worked half-assed for me. Yeah, even the shrink told me St. John's wort is one of the best over-the-counter things for anxiety. He said, I suggest you start taking it again. I was like, oh, okay. I'll think about it. I've kind of learned to live with it over the years. I kind of do the mind over matter thing. This goddamn... There it is, an hour. And now we're in the echo. I don't know what. And, you know, I got an update to prison today. And I thought maybe the update would cure this. I have no idea why, if I'm on for an hour, it goes into this echo, this reverb. It did it right mid-sentence. I'm talking, and the next thing you know, there's a goddamn reverb. And it's not the microphone. It happens with every goddamn mic. So, you guys just have to put up with the reverb. I don't know what causes it. As you saw, it just happens. And it seems when I'm on for an hour. Oh, it was a Seiko. I asked my sister, it's a Seiko. Back when they presented it to them, it was $1,100. She didn't tell me which model Seiko, but it's a Seiko. And she shakes it up every now and then because it's a self-winder to keep it going, but she don't wear it. She keeps the box up on the mantle. She'll change the time, you know, when we have time change. And so you figure, when did he get booted out? I can't remember. I want to say maybe the late 80s. Yeah, it had to be sometime in the 80s. And whatever model Seiko watch this is, it was $1,100. That was another reason he couldn't wait for his retirement watch. Because all he ever wore was a Timex. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. God, he must have had 30 goddamn Timex in his drawer. He'd wear one for a while and then see a new model when Timex were about $10. Buy a new Timex, wear it for about a year. Time for a new Timex. So, you know, to get $1,000 watch, but it was like, you know, here's your watch, Wally, have a nice day, pack your office, you're done. No formal presentation, no dinner, nothing. So, you know, at least he got his watch. Had they booted him without giving him his watch, oh, there'd have been hell to pay. But he never wore it. I remember my sister saying, he come home, he said, well, I got my retirement watch, and he threw it on the dresser. And that's where it sat. He never even tried it on. Never even did the old, oh, does that look nice? Nope. He was so fucking bitter. It was like, well, I got my fucking watch. There. That's what they thought of me. And it just sat on the dresser, collecting dust. It's a nice watch, though. I'm going to have to ask her which model it is. I know it's a self-wind. I know that much. Yeah, I was thinking both of them. But I sent her a text message. Is what model watch was Dad's retirement watch? No. I'm brain dead. If I don't write shit down, Kathy, no, I never did. I guess that'll be for tomorrow's show. Check the lottery. I mean, it'd be great if they had that same feature where you can get school money. That would be wonderful. I still wouldn't buy a lottery ticket because I don't have no kids in school. Oh, you did? I'm glad somebody checks up on me. What's the word? Yes or no? Kathy knew I'd forget. That's why she checked. She knew I'd forget. Hey, I was out injuring my neighbor with my drone. I did have well, not daily. No wonder taxes are so expensive. Now, what the hell did the goddamn lottery do? Nothing. That was the big lie. Vote for the lottery. It funds the schools. Yeah, I went up for cigarettes and cookies today. Mom and the little pixie were working in that aisle. She ran up front with a box of cookies for me. See, I told you it wasn't. I think I said 20. I think I said 20%, and then the rest is all bullshit to fund their big salaries and their new cars and their fucking fancy desks and offices. What a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, I walked in the store. It was hilarious. I turned to go down the aisle, and she holds up her hand. Then she come running. Here you cookies. Here you cookies. Thank you. Today I wanted them. It was, she's a cutie. got that real glossy black hair, and she's always dressed in a dress, Indian dress. She always looks like some little Indian princess when you go in the store. She's got her hair cut about to here, straight, and that glossy dark black, big brown eyes. I don't think she wears American clothes. I've never seen her in American clothes. She's always in. She look like you say. She looks like she'd come out of a Indian palace. And her patent leather shoes with they gotta be plastic soles. They make so much noise when she's running on that linoleum floor. Yeah, she come barreling up. Here your cookies. Thank you. Mom's standing back there. Well, the two moms were back there laughing. I think Mom kind of poked her and said, "Look who's here." Mom reaches up, gives her a box of cookies. She come running like, "Here's your cookies." She's a trip. I asked her father, I said, "You gonna have her do that when she's 18? He goes, "Probably." He said she'll probably be running the store. I hope so. I would like to see them be there for their retirement. And then the kids take over. That's like my Chinese restaurant up at Cam's Corners. He opened I don't know if it was in the late 60s or the early 70s. And I'll tell you what, they got the best Chinese food on earth. And he has 3 daughters. And the last time I went in to get my pickup order, I said, "Where's Dad?" Because Dad was always right up front. And she said, "He retired." I said, "Really?" I says, "Who's running the restaurant?" And she said, "Me and my 2 sisters." So I said, "It's going to continue?" She said, "Oh, yes." Dragon Towers. That's the name of the restaurant. Dragon Towers. But I'll tell you what, killer Chinese food. Absolutely killer. And I am glad to see it's going to continue. Because a lot of times the kids don't want nothing to do with the business. Because these 3 girls grew up in that restaurant. They'd be clearing tables when they were like 5, 6 years old. So you would think they would be like, "Oh, God, I can't wait for Dad to retire and sell a joint." But nope. The 3 girls are running it. Which made me very happy. Because I know too many businesses that closed because the kids didn't want nothing to do with it. Like the Italian bread store. When Mom and Pop retired, they sold the equipment. The kids sold the building. They don't want nothing to do with it. And that was the only goddamn Italian bakery around here. Down at Fulton and Clark. So I was very happy to find out that the girls took over the restaurant. Although I think Dad probably sold it to them. I don't think Dad said, "Here you go." You know, that ancient Chinese philosophy. What? Give? No give. You buy. Yeah, I would tend to think with the girls, you know, growing up in the place, that when Dad retired, they probably had a family meeting and Dad said, "Well, you girls want the business?" And I'm sure all three said yes. I'm going to ask them. I'm nosy enough. They know I'm whackball anyway. I'll ask them, "Did Dad give you the business? Or did he make you buy it?" They'll probably say, "Yeah, well, Dad gave it to us." Probably with strict rules. Don't screw my business up. I worked all my life to keep this business top notch. Don't screw my business up. He probably checks on them monthly. Because it'd be a riot. I would be up at the plaza and I'd get a taste for maybe egg foo young or something, you know. I'd walk in to order. And evidently, the cooks don't read English because he would write it in Chinese. He's like, "What the hell's all this symbols here?" "You know where it's your order." Okay. Dragon Towers at Cam's Plaza, the best Chinese food in Ohio. Been there since, I think, the 70s. Dad retired and turned the business over to the three daughters. Yeah, that's Chinese food to die for. And I'll tell you what, it's top notch. The girls did not cheapen it like a lot of, like that guy, what was that pizza shop in Lakewood? I can't think of the name of the pizza shop. Oh yeah, that's all I do is carry out. I call Angelo's. When I'll tell you, when the kids took that business over, they fucking ruined it. They cheapened the sauce, and they cheapened the ingredients. The goddamn Italian sausage was so goddamn greasy you could grease your car with it. The pepperoni was. As soon as the kids took that business over, they destroyed it. I could tell immediately. Because I used to get pizza from Angelo's all the time. I'm surprised I couldn't remember it. Because I got a pizza there, and I went right back and I said, "What's with this pizza?" Well, I don't mind paying for good food, but they destroyed that pizza. They went with the cheapest, shittiest pizza sauce. They went with goddamn processed cheese, shitty pepperoni, shitty Italian sausage, canned mushrooms, because you used to get fresh mushrooms on the pizza. It was sad how those kids destroyed that goddamn business. I could tell right away. This mouth knows good pizza. And that used to be good pizza. Now it's crap. I haven't had a pizza there in probably 15 years. And I used to get at least 2 a week. Order one before I left. Get ready to check out, punch out of work, order a pizza. By the time I got down there, it was done. I'll never forget. Brought that thing home, opened the box. Pizza didn't look like it normally did. And then I tasted it. Ugh. I go to Marco's now. Right up at 142nd and Lorraine. They got decent pizza. I only order maybe twice a month now. But if you want to try outstanding Chinese food, go to Dragon Towers at Cam's Plaza. Outstanding. Absolutely. And it's amazing to go in there. They still have a good clientele. Very rarely have I gone in there and seen the place, empty or 1 or 2 people at tables. No. No. No buffet. You go now. You've been here 4 hours. You go now. No buffet for you. I think they have their menu online. Now, if you like something that's got a little bite to it, the General Tso, TSO, however you pronounce it, General Tso's chicken. I usually get an order of that. I get an order of shrimp egg foo young and some extra rice on the side. And prices are very reasonable. Although I do not mind paying for quality. But being on unsociable security, I don't eat out that much anymore. Well, then stay away from that General Tso's chicken. I know they have kept their prices reasonable. You know, prices have gone up. It's tough to, restaurant business is a tough business. And they've tried to keep their prices very reasonable to keep their clientele. But I do not mind when it's quality. Oh, Kathy, you would love theirs. Oh my God. It's to die for. Matter of fact, Dad used to recognize my voice. He'd answer the phone. I could tell her, yeah, I want to place a takeout order. And he'd go, General Tso chicken, shrimp bacon young, extra rice. Yep. Be ready 15 minutes. Okay. I'll be there. Take me about 15 minutes to drive there. Walk in, bag be on the counter. Here you go. Thank you. Hey, yeah, give him the old bottle. All right. Yeah, I can remember going in there and Mom would be back in the corner with one of the babies. The 5-year-old would be clearing tables. Her 3-year-old sister would be helping. Yeah, those girls grew up in that restaurant. Well, I'll tell you what, Kathy, it's too bad they don't deliver out there. I think it'd be an expensive DoorDash, but it's killer. Although I like hot and spicy. I'll never forget the first time I ordered it. I ordered it the second time. Dad was like, "Oh, you like?" Yeah. Not hot? Well, yeah, I had to wear a banana on my head and keep the sweat out of my eyes, but yeah, it was good chicken. You know it's good when you're crying when you eat it. Almost as good as eating my grandfather's fresh ground horseradish. You'd cry just opening a jar. Open the jar and it was like a fist hitting your nose. Whoa! Oh, I found me a DVD. So I ordered it off of eBay. So I know what the conclave is doing. Yeah, there you go. Tell them, hey, run it up to Lindale Yard, put it on the train, send it south. Keep it in the warmer. That's the only rail yard we got around here anymore is Lindale. Oh, Sherry, you're always such a wealth of happy news. Oh, my God. Yeah, go take care of him. Tell him I said hi, even though I don't know him. Thanks for stopping in, sweetheart. Hang in there. Keep a good attitude. That's one thing they told me going through chemo. Keep your humor. Matter of fact, they used to show cartoons all the time. Or the Three Stooges. They said, just keep your humor. As long as you got your humor, you'll get through it. You know, well, after they stabbed me with 2 garden hoses, I got through it. But hang in there, sweetheart. Thanks for popping in. And try Dragon Towers. Let me know what you think of it. It'll be an enjoyable place for your birthday. I guarantee. It has the grumpy stamp of approval. And I'm tougher than the FDA when it comes to approval of restaurants. I wish I could figure out why this goddamn microphone doesn't. I think one night I'm just going to operate on YouTube only, like I did when I started, and see if this shit happens after an hour. It never happened before. So it's got to be something with Prism. And it shouldn't act up like that, because on these streaming platforms like this streaming software, you're supposed to be able to talk for hours. I'll warn everybody before I do it. But one night, I'm just going to log into YouTube like I used to. Matter of fact, I'll do it from Studio One, because that computer is still set up for YouTube only. And that way I'll be able to use my soundboard and my sound effects, because it's all over there. Although I got to put everything back together. Yeah, it'll feel good to operate the old studio with the golden microphone. Hey, Wyatt, how you doing, buddy? Good seeing ya. Sorry about the echoing microphone. It does it on its own. Gotta be something on my software. And it sucks because it does it when you're on for an hour. It just doesn't, Wyatt. Everything was fine until 8:01. I was on for an hour, and in mid-sentence, it went to this reverb. And this mic doesn't even have a reverb on it. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I had to meet with a shrink yesterday. After my appointment, he called his shrink and said, "Oh boy, if I got one here, I need to tell you about it." He says to me, "Let's start with your childhood." We got to age 10. He looked at his watch. He said, "Well, the hour's up. I'll see you on May 17th. I said, "Okay. We'll start where we left off." You should have seen the look on his face when I told him. I said, well, I grew up with a father who was a champion Golden Gloves boxer and a mother who was a professional wrestler. And I think he almost fell out of his chair. He went, what? Yep. So I think he called his shrink when I left the office. Yeah, one night, I'll warn everybody, I'm going to operate strictly on YouTube from Studio One with all the old equipment and my golden microphone, and we'll see if this shit happens. And if it doesn't, I'm going to have to find another streaming goddamn software program. The only problem is they're so complicated I can't figure them out. Everybody says, oh, use EvMux. I looked at it and I was like, oh, jeez. Well, you're not the only one. Me and I think Kathy was in the shrink crowd, or was it Jenny? I can't remember. One of the group. We're all in that group. I bought that off of eBay. It came with the whole setup, the mounting arm, all the cables. It was like $25. And I said to myself after I ordered it, this thing's going to be a piece of crap. And I'll tell you what, it was a wonderful microphone. You know, I've got two. Maybe tomorrow I'll use one over here because I've got that goofy little connector that converts an XLR microphone to a USB. I'll set up a golden mic for tomorrow. I'll put it on the microphone stand that I've got right over here on the side of the console. And because I got two. When that cheap thing turned out to work so well, I ordered a second one as a backup. Oh, so do I, Wyatt. And I'll tell you what, a lot of it was from my childhood. And then when I went through chemo, it made it worse. And my doctors have been bugging me. And, you know, I had that attitude like a lot of people. The only time you see a shrink is if you're crazy. And my pain management doctor finally said, no, you're not crazy. I'll call him and I'll set up an appointment. I went to see him yesterday, first visit, and I like the guy. I'll tell you what, he's got this persona that just put me at ease, and I started spilling my guts. And believe me, shit that I told him yesterday, I've never told anybody. So when the appointment was over, he said, "Do you want to keep going?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "All right, be here on the 17th. Okay. I really like the guy. But yeah, Kathy, I'll set up if I can. Yeah, I won't have any problem. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll get my backup spare golden microphone and I'll use it tomorrow. I'll have it right here on the desk. It amazed me. Now, this goddamn mic here is $110. That cheap $25 mic worked just as well. So, yeah, I miss it. I always used to, that's how I started the show. Speaking into my golden microphone. I don't have a golden voice to go with it. But that $25 and everything. The mounting arm, all the cables. I figured, man, this is going to be a cheap piece of crap. And it worked wonderful. It really did. And I've got the desk mount right over here. Matter of fact, I've got the MXL Blizzard mounted to it. I'm gonna destroy something here in a minute. Come on, get out of there. Yeah, place is falling apart. Yeah, I got the desk mount right here. I'll just hook it to this. That's the converter. It converts a XLR microphone to a USB. And tomorrow will be golden microphone night. Because I have two. Now get all this shit back together here. Come on, get in there. Damn it. I shouldn't have moved things. Hold on. I'm having a confuculation here. Jesus. Too much stuff on the side console. Gee, every time I touch something, I knock something else down. I have too much shit over here. Wires and cables and brackets. Come on, Jesus. There, sorry. I did about 2.5 years with that cheap piece of crap. I shouldn't say piece of crap, but I mean, $25 for a microphone kit with mounting arm. So the last thing I figured was it was going to be anything even close to quality. And it worked marvelously. The only reason I have all these fancy mics is when my buddy passed away. He was into microphones. And 90% of what he bought, he never used. They were still in the boxes. When he passed away, his wife said, "Help yourself." And I was like, I'm not taking all of these. So I cherry picked. And I went out of there with about 20. Like I needed 20. I've still got some I haven't even taken out of the box. It's a pain in the ass to swap microphones all the time. But tomorrow, the golden microphone. Now you got to remember that was, well, even 4 years ago, but yeah, bought off of eBay. I just typed in microphone kits and up popped this one, and being golden, it caught my eye. Yeah, Wyatt, my buddy, he had a YouTube channel, and he talked a lot about electronics and ham radios and stuff like that. He was only on once a week. And he was into microphones. If something caught his eye, he bought it. And he'd get it, open the box, oh, okay, and put it on the shelf. He had, in his laundry room, 3 walls were shelves. And they were microphones, and there was a lot of ham radio stuff, which, but just, and these microphones weren't something you would use for ham radio. It was more for using YouTube. He just, if it caught it, a lot of them came from Sweetwater. Sweetwater.com. They handle a shitload of microphones and recording equipment, and check them out sometime. Look and see how many microphones that place sells. And my buddy probably bought a third of what they sell. He just go on Sweetwater. Oh, an MXL Blizzard. It looks neat. I'll buy it. And never use them. He had 6 mixers. 5 of them he never took out of the box. Now I've got 2 mixers of my own, so I didn't take any mixers. Now, his son dispersed a lot of stuff to his friends, so it didn't go to Goodwill. But And some of the mixers were like, I know one of them was like $1,000. And never use it. Of course, Wyatt, he had the money. But he was into microphones. Unbelievable. The stuff that he had. To do a YouTube channel once a week for like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes at the most, maybe an hour. And use the same microphone every night. For every single show, same microphone. Same mixer. I couldn't believe it. I had no idea. Because when I would go over to see him, we'd go down in his studio. I never knew about the shit in the other room until his wife said, "Here, help yourself." It looked like a Sweetwater warehouse. Yeah, it happens on its own. I have a ghost after the first hour. It just goes into this reverb, and I don't know why. I started at 7:01. At 8:01, it started doing this. And it does it every goddamn night. So, I told everybody, I'll warn them ahead of time. One night, I'm going to go over to Studio One, all my old equipment, and I am strictly going to operate on YouTube. Because I'm on 2 platforms tonight. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. It's going to be like the old days. Because the computers over there are still set up. The old system. I'm just going to log into YouTube. And I'm going to do a show strictly on YouTube. And I guarantee this shit ain't going to happen. But I have no idea why. After an hour, it's like somebody throws a fucking switch. Yeah, 8:01, bang. Wyatt, he probably had at least 70. There were boxes and boxes and boxes of microphones. I took 20. Because his wife gave me first shot. So I grabbed several MXLs. I got this one here. I got the yeah, I grabbed 15. 15. I grabbed 15. But he easily, I didn't count them all. Easily 50, 60, 70 boxes. and everything came from Sweetwater. But he would just log into Sweetwater and look at the microphones, and if something caught his eye, he bought it. She gave me all for free. She was going to give him the goodwill. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. And I talked to his son, and I said, hey, get a hold of all of his ham radio buddies and see if they want this stuff. Don't give it a goodwill. So it got dispersed among all of the ham radio club. Because his wife said to me, she goes, well, you take your pick because I'm going to call Goodwill. Jesus, I almost had to give myself CPR. And she wouldn't take a dime. I offered to pay for him. She's, no. She said, he would have wanted you to have him. So, I picked out 15. I was going to grab one of the mixers, and I was like, geez, I got 2 already. I don't need another one. The mixers are Behringers. They were all Behringer mixers. Not cheap. Money was no object to him. He didn't care. He had money. I mean, he had a hell of a good job. So, if it caught his eye, because I asked him, Lou, what did you order that mic for? Oh, I liked the way it looked. Have you tested it? No. Are you going to test it? No. It just gave him the satisfaction of having it. Because he would walk in the laundry room and just look. Oh, look at all the microphones that I have. I never questioned him at all. After his son took over the disbursement, I don't know whether he sold them. I kept telling his son, just, get some money back from this shit. I don't know what he did. All I know is his son made sure it didn't go to Goodwill. His son took the $1,000 mixer and a couple of the high-end microphones, and I'm talking $700-800 microphones. I didn't ask, none of my business. Matter of fact, I was over one night when he was going through the Sweetwater site. As a matter of fact, he ordered that MXL Blizzard that night. He liked it because it had blue LEDs inside of it. So I grabbed that MXL, the orange MXL, the red MXL, and the red, white, and blue and gold patriotic limited edition MXL. and I think an MX. I got a shitload of MXL mics because MXL is a top-notch mic. And all of the MXLs are all XLR microphones, so you have to run them through a mixer or that converter that I've got that works really well, which is amazing for a little thing that's that big. You plug it into a XLR mic and it converts it to a USB. It's amazing. And whatever that device is, it's about this big. So that's how I will use the golden microphone tomorrow. I will put it on that mic stand, and tomorrow will be golden microphone night. And if it works, if it sounds pretty decent, I'll use it for a while because I miss using it. It'll take me back to the good old days when it was me talking to myself. But it surprised the shit out of me for a cheap microphone to work that well. It impressed me to no end. It impressed me so much I bought a second one. For fear the first one would go haywire, I'd have a backup. And now I got more microphones than China has rice. Good. I'm glad it'll make you happy. It'll make me happy. I miss the thing. I really do. I mean, 2.5 years with that mic. And it never failed me. So I will take this because it's set up over there. I will take the spare out of the box, the brand new one. I will hook it up, and tomorrow will be golden microphone night. Now what you'll have to do is you guys are going to have to tell me as far as the audio, because it's strange trying to get it adjusted right with that little gizmo. So when I first start broadcasting tomorrow, you'll have to tell me it's too loud, not loud enough, and then I'll have to play with it. And then once I get it set, maybe I'll keep using it for a while. I don't need to have a light-changing LED mic. The golden microphone was my trademark for the longest time. Yeah, WDWL TV, broadcasting with my golden microphone. That was my line. Can't wait to try it. Like I say, I miss it. It just, for what I paid for it, it really surpassed my expectations. I figured it'd sound like a piece of crap. Who's your favorite character? You know, this was the time that Kaiser used to do his nightly. 7 o'clock he'd start. And then 8 o'clock he was still doing roll call. With his imaginary friends. And his buddy throwing super chats at him 3-4 times a night. I can't believe the people that threw money at him. All them people that were loyal members. Unreal. Well, I think it's outro time. I'm having good hot chili tonight. I can't wait. Here we go, peoples. Yeah, Glenn Harlow. How can I forget that name? We know where right here, WDWL TV. And tomorrow will be golden microphone. And with that, everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. Wyatt, it was great seeing you tonight. Hope to see you for golden microphone night. I know Kathy will be here early. And with that, everybody, take care. Good seeing you. Thanks for putting up with my fucking reverb.